The Medical Courier Connection podcast would like to take a moment to thank our sponsors. Risk Strategies was founded in 1997 on the premise that an insurance brokerage could be more, a trusted risk management advisor and partner where a focus on employee and client needs would create value and success. Discover the difference of our specialist approach. We're here to help you see the way forward in a complex world with specialty insight, practical advice, and custom insurance with a vast network of specialists. This podcast is also brought to you by Key Software Systems. We believe that every delivery has a story, and it starts with you. That's why we built an ecosystem uniting accounting, delivery, tracking and shipping, reporting, and more to not only bring full delivery transparency to your customers, but to reduce errors and inefficiencies that stand in the way of over-delivering on your customer expectations. We'll drive the heavy lifting that keeps your business innovative with the latest technology so that you can focus on building connections with your customers.
Hey everybody, Ken with Integrity Medical Courier Training.
We are providing on-site training in Roseville, Minnesota.
A man's digits turn blue due to too much cannabis use. A woman in Melbourne, Australia dies after being scratched by Minty, her cat. Stole the hearse and dumped the body on the side of the road, still strapped to the gurney, and then continued on with their joyride. A dog had to be put down after it was crushed by a package thrown over a garden fence, its owners claim. So, stay compliant, my friends. Get all your medical courier training needs from us at www.integritydelivers.com. All right, hokey opening over. Great. Yeah, I love it. Stay compliant, my friends. I thought that was kind of funny, but so we're going to do what's called a mini podcast. This will not be the full length, but it's important to keep some material going out there, but we'll talk for a few minutes. We were recently in New York City.
New York.
Yeah, love it, man. Training again with RDS delivery, and same RDS same day delivery. We've been with them for they've been with us for about 14 years, and we've been doing their online training for a long time for their drivers. And then last year they brought us on site. And Larry saw the value of bringing us on site and how important that was. And we met with some of their clients, some of their bigger clients, and then, of course, did the training on site. And we did the same thing this year. We spent several days in New York, but just a couple of days training on site. And Larry's going to talk with us a little bit about the importance of having Integrity Medical, not just train your people online, which is what a majority of our clients do, but bringing us on site and doing the training in person. It sure has a different feel.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah.
So normally when we come on site, it's a 3-day visit, although we do offer longer visits as well, but usually it's a 3-day thing. Now we're going to Minneapolis here at the end of November, or at the beginning of November, I should say, like in about a week and a half.
Yeah.
We do what we do with that client is we'll do driver ride-alongs. On Thursday, we'll ride with several of their drivers, and I have a 3-page document where I check off certain things and just, a different pair of eyes looking at how they do their job and what they're doing right and what may be areas for improvement. I also go through the warehouse and look around, and if I see possible violations, I point them out and we make adjustments. And then Friday, we do training, several classes during the day. And then Saturday, we do their big warehouse training session. They move out all the areas where the drivers do the sorting and set up dozens of chairs and set up a PA system. And we walk around the warehouse and do the training on a big screen. It's pretty impressive. And so the benefits of having an extra set of eyes on your property with your drivers and making sure that you're putting your best foot forward as you're sending couriers out to service your medical clients. I mean, it's really night and day, but when you hold it up against me sitting there talking to you on a screen. So
yeah, absolutely, it is insanely different. Yeah.
I mean, obvious, for obvious reasons, right? So, I mean,
Yeah.
listen, I'm not a huge fan of travel. I'll be honest with you. The older I get, the harder it gets. But this is a platform that we've been doing for many, many years. My first on-site training stint was, I want to say in 2007 or right around there. We went to Michigan and trained a company out there. That was my very first on-site visit. And now we have several clients that bring us out every year. And so, if you want a fresh set of eyes to ride with your drivers and make sure they're doing their job right, or check over your facility and make sure that you guys are, your company is compliant. I mean, yeah, it's a bigger spend, no question about it. However, if you want to impress your clients, one of the things Larry did with us last year is he literally brought us to one of their biggest clients in downtown New York City, and they got to meet us, face to face, firsthand, and talk a little bit about the training that we provide. And so it's a whole different feel than just sending out an e-certificate to a potential client saying, here's what we got, here's what we do. So we're available, you guys. Visit our website, integritydelivers.com. And when you hover over Get Trained, there are some options there, and you'll see it, and you can kind of pick the on-site training option. And there's three different options to choose from. So, and then you can reach out and contact us, and we can schedule the on-site visit. And so we'd love to hear from you guys. I think this is an important thing to talk about. Again, there have been situations where I've gone out and they've had problems with couriers and they couldn't figure out what the issue was. And within minutes, I come on and I see it. I'll give you one great example. There was a client that I go on site with every year in Ohio, and one of their drivers had recently had a series of events where he was freezing refrigerated specimens. They were frozen. No one could figure out what was going on. And I just happened to be scheduled for a visit. I came in, they told me about it. I said, show me his cooler. Well, he was using one of those old polystyrene shoulder bag coolers, but polystyrene is a shinier, rubbery kind of material rather than that breathable, styrofoam inserts that you would have in a shoulder bag cooler. Well, what he had been doing was putting about 6 pounds of dry ice in one side of the bottom half of that polystyrene cooler. But because the polystyrene is a conducer of cold and heat, it literally frosted and froze the entire bottom half of the cooler. Case solved within about 5 minutes. And so, there is benefit to having us out and riding with your drivers. We had one driver I rode with years ago that was leaving his car running and unlocked at every single stop. Every single stop. And they didn't have driver ride-alongs, so there would be no way of knowing this. But if you've got lab specimens and paperwork and narcotics and medication and all of, and some of these guys are transporting surgical instruments that are tens of thousands of dollars in value, and you got drivers out there that are leaving their car running and unlocked for 5, 10, 15 minutes at a time, that's a real problem.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, that's enough of me selling this service. We do this. If you want to find out more, you can either email me at ken.arnold@integritydelivers or go to our website, integritydelivers.com, and look around and see what it's all about. But we'd love to hear from you guys. Email me, have us out. Chris, go ahead and roll the tape.
Yep. All right. And here is Larry.
We're at RDS Same Day Delivery, and for the second year in a row, providing on-site training. And it's been amazing, actually. The information that I'm learning from your drivers and from your people, it's amazing and so rewarding. And we've been doing a deep dive into what your drivers are doing, but what your dispatchers are doing, and just the whole culture of the company. Really, really exciting. Larry Zogby, welcome, and thanks for bringing us on, by the way.
I'm always excited when you come here and we learn a ton.
Yeah, it is something, isn't it? I mean, when you get into regulatory requirements, now you guys have been in the industry for how many years?
We're doing this 38 years, but over the years, I would say about 50% of our gross sales is significant. It's coming from the medical community.
From the medical community.
And yes, you've been live for the past 2 years, but you've been training our couriers for probably over a decade.
Yeah, that's right. Yep, that we established it like 14 years.
Yeah.
So appreciate it. I love the live format for me because then I can gauge what they're getting. You know, those open sessions where, okay, guys, what are you hearing? Tell me what's going on. And then their feedback, and sometimes I got to correct them, but I'm affirming them. We're rewarding them. Sometimes I get people, you know, on these, when we do the live webinars remotely, you'll get people that are sleeping during the class. We've had people that were acting appropriately during the webinar. They're going to the bathroom during the webinar. And I just think for me, it's rewarding to come and see how people react to this. I thought I'd get your impression of why you feel having us live is better or different than if we did the webinar. Because you have the capability to pipe me in, but instead you bring me in physically. Why is that different or better? What do you think?
I think there's a different energy and a different dynamic when you bring community, humans, a teacher, and a coach, and you get this cross conversation. It also gives an opportunity to have couriers asking each other questions on their day-to-day job. So there's a cross communication, there's active learning, and the energy and the dynamic is different.
Yeah, I mean, when we do the live training, there's a lot of whataboutism. What about this? I saw this the other day. What about that? So things that they might have not thought of bringing up to you on their day-to-day basis, now we're training about it, and they're like, oh yeah, this client asked me to do that. Or yeah, I've been doing this for a long time. Is that bad?
And that triggers the next guy or the next
right.
girl. So triggering is very, very important in a community versus if you're in a silo learning from a teacher, you don't have that.
Yeah.
You don't have that banter because everyone's then just looking at a Zoom.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And so I can see sometimes when we do a Zoom class, I mean, I can see people just, you know, melting into their hands and just they're sitting there. And you know, I've had people fall asleep. Last week I kicked a guy out because he fell asleep. Nobody's falling asleep in our live classes because I'm pretty animated, pretty amped up, and I'll call them out. I mean, we kind of tease a little bit, but I want them engaged. I want them to answer me. I'm not going to allow one person to answer every question. I want other people to answer. We got to figure out, you know, how much they're really getting. So when they leave the conference room and they go out to the road, you know, they're going to be able to apply this stuff and walk it out.
There's a few things. So I had a coach and a mentor, Zig Ziglar, and he was the greatest for me. And he would say, he would always inject humor every 7 minutes.
Yeah.
As he was,
Really?
he would give a lot of seminars
Yeah.
because you got to keep that audience alive and jumping. Another thing is just you coming in and sharing the postmortem. From it raises my awareness of my liability, my responsibility to the team, and to get better at this. And this is not one and you're done. So again, I'm glad that you keep coming back, but it makes me understand. Drinking from a hot fire hose is tough.
Oh, yeah.
And so what we really need to do is develop how we can break this down in segments and in pieces so we can make learning fun, but every week. How do they get 15 more minutes, 30 more minutes of knowledge so we can keep stacking that knowledge and not wait for once a year?
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. You'd be surprised how much information people forget in 1 year period. It's pretty incredible. So yeah, I mean, we use comedy. I sing occasionally. We've got videos that we interject that are funny and guys laugh. I mean, but it's all designed to get them to internalize, what does my job look like? Is my job anything like that? Would I ever do that? The examples that we use of couriers, that one funny video where the seagulls come and eat the eyeballs and fly away. It's unthinkable and it's ridiculous, but it gets your drivers thinking, well, now wait a minute. You know, how can I protect my specimens from something similar?
Yeah, I just want to segue for a second. So coming live, I'll just share an experience with your audience. I mean, there's a lot of work that's done behind the scenes, right? There's a lot of coordination between the dispatch team and human resource to set up the classes of how we can get X amount of people off the street, whether they're, you know, from their jobs. So coming in before and staying after, naturally everyone's paid. We set the table by making sure there's going to be food, breakfast, dinner, drinks. We want to make it as comfortable as it can be.
Yeah.
And then, yes, we like to give you things and tools to give away, rewards, just to make it active, right? We want the whole experience to be a different experience. So it's not just learning about what you're teaching, but it's an experience for them to be in the office, be around team members, other team members, et cetera, et cetera. So there is some advanced planning to make this look spontaneous, but we want the end result, them feeling good, being
Yeah.
part of a team, right? There's other things that happen than just medical training.
Oh, absolutely. You
Right.
made it so easy for me to come in, and again, that atmosphere. We're rewarding drivers for answering the right question, and yeah, I mean their time is valuable too. And so it's not just instructions. Sit down. We're going to force feed you the information. It is a lively situation. I'm losing my voice.
Think about this. What you're doing, everyone's always watching. Now you see the dispatch team, human resource, you see the CFO, you see people in billing.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, wow, they're investing inside the company. They want them to learn. They're taking it seriously. So it stacks everywhere. It's not just about, hey, we're going to fly Ken in and, one and you're done and get this. No, it's a culture of learning about OSHA, HIPAA, compliance around a specimen.
Love it. You brought me to meet with one of your biggest clients, and you're the only person in 21 years of me offering training that's ever literally brought me in and sat me down with your clients. Tell me a little bit about that
That's
and
a
why
great question.
why you did that.
I look at you and you have a ton of knowledge, and I look up to you, a ton of experience, decades of experience. And so you said to me, hey, let me do a drive around with your driver. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's a waste.
Yeah.
In my mind, it's a waste of your talent.
Yeah.
Meaning, so I'm thinking, how can I use this talent? So I use you as you are my consultant, so it's added value so we could walk the halls of my client and make introductions. This is Ken from Integrity Medical with his team. Wanted to introduce you to him. He's in for the weekend training over 150 couriers and maybe get some feedback from them. And we did get some feedback.
Did you?
Well, we got feedback. Even the procurement guy went back and forth with you a few times. I don't know what
Yes.
that is for an opportunity, but it was really more added value to show our client that we're serious about training.
Right.
So that's why we do it.
Yeah, that's amazing. So yeah, one of the other things that I do when I come live, I do ride with drivers. I've got a 3-page handout that critiques their work, and I make suggestions, and I've found some surprises, here and there. So there is value to that. But I love meeting with the clients because being from a clinical lab background, I mean, I can speak their language, and it's kind of nice to meet them and just stay involved. So I appreciate that.
Well, let's go down that path for one second. So if I wanted to, in retrospect, I might send you with a driver and a driver trainer.
Yeah.
So you could teach the driver trainer on what to look for.
Sure.
And then he or she can run down 100 drivers and go train them.
Well,
and then I would use the rest of the time meeting my clients. Added value,
best of
added
both
value.
worlds.
Yeah, you got it.
Best of both worlds.
But only one day in the vehicle for you. And maybe only 2 hours.
Are you kidding? No, I love it. I love it. I'm blessed. Here's the thing. If drivers start to think or expect that I'm going to come every year in September, maybe during the year they get a little lax because I'm the only one that's checking on them. You equip your middle level managers to just drop in and say, hey, listen, I'm going to ride with you for an hour out of the blue. So if they expect that can happen anytime during the year, then they're not going to get complacent and cut corners.
Well, I'm going to
and
take
stuff
this
like
to
that.
the next level. I am going to have an assistant, whether it's onshore or offshore.
Yeah.
And I'm going to compile, and I'm going to take it one step. Just like we have somber safety, where there's 5 to 7 minute clips on taking a course on distracted driving, why using a seatbelt, a heart rate, just clips. We want to take the same clips from your training book and sound bites. Because people could only learn so much at one time, and it's stacking that every single week. How could we stack 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes?
That's great. I could give you some.
So think through 20 minutes a week, 50 weeks. It's 1,000. I think that's 1,000 hours of training.
I mean, yeah, and I can even help you with some of the key points and some of the bigger things that you want to remind them of. Think of it from OSHA wants us to put posters in the break room where drivers are reminded about their rights and things like that, or the labor department and things like that. You've got those put up. and so same way you're
I
talking.
think we live in a different world, and I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah.
So yes, they want us to put posters up, but think about the world we live in tech, and think about everyone scrolling. So
Yeah.
I think it needs to be digital.
Yep.
I think it needs to come through, whether they're signing in for payroll, whether they're signing in to their mobile tech, but they need to have that digital experience. I think after a while, it becomes like wallpaper.
Yeah,
And they need it in their phone.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. You are a forward thinker. You are a visionary, Larry Zogby. I've always looked up to you. No, listen, you are constantly speaking into people's lives everywhere you go. Do you realize that? You're constantly giving of yourself, of your knowledge and experience, and making suggestions to waiters, waitresses, Uber drivers. It doesn't matter. You're constantly pouring into people's lives. That's what I love about you.
I've been very blessed, and I believe in karma, and we just try to do the right thing all the time and try to help build people up, leave them in a place better than they were before. And I think because of that, I asked you the question the other day. I said to you, I made a statement. I said, sometimes I think about how did I get here?
Yeah.
In my career, here today.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of little decisions over the years.
You've got an amazing story, and we're not going to go there. We already talked about that in the podcast. Don't forget, you guys, if you're watching this little mini podcast, don't forget we've got other podcasts in the library, and we did have Larry on for a full podcast. Go back and watch that because his story is amazing, and some of the things that he's overcome over the years, really inspiring. You should do a book sometime, by the way.
Yeah, you know what? I'm grateful to you, and it takes a whole team and a whole village. If I didn't have consultants like you, if I didn't have a team, it's one just big pool of knowledge and humans, and it takes a team to make everything
Sure
happen.
does. Larry, thank you, my
great.
friend. Appreciate you. Thank you. All right, that's been it. This has been another Medical Courier Connection podcast. Are we still running?
Yep.
All right, thank you. Guys, thanks. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on our other social media platforms, guys. We'll see you soon. Actually, we're going to be in Times Square on Saturday. I'll need Larry to bail me out if we get arrested. So there's
You
that.
know my number. I'm a good phone call.
Excellent. Yeah, Larry made some great points. I mean, he talked about the energy, the dynamic, making learning fun. That's a definite benefit of having us on site. The Q&A that he talked about reminded me of the fact that when we get live in a group of people, you might have a driver that does a whataboutism. What about this? I saw this happen. I saw that happen. And now they're talking and they're sharing information. That is a great way for courier companies to find out if there might be issues or problems out there on the road that the drivers haven't been talking about. And then the value of going over the manual with admin and dispatchers, that was huge because you want to make sure, listen, it's one thing to have your drivers properly trained and compliant. It's another thing to make sure your front office is fully compliant, has all their records, all the documents signed that you need signed. It's a big deal having me come on site. Dude, why
Is that Rick?
Phone number. Okay. Now I got to go back. So going over the manual and the admin was another big point that he mentioned. That is a value that where we actually talk with dispatchers and talk with admin people and kind of go over some of the real important points there. Again, that is a big deal because you can make sure that not only are your drivers compliant and trained, but your front office is compliant and prepared to protect and defend your company if you're ever audited, guys. It does happen. There are HIPAA violations, and don't ever kid yourself thinking that they're not going to come to talk to you at the courier company if one of your drivers has a HIPAA violation. So again, visit our website, integritydelivers.com. Look at that on-site option. You can always email me at ken.arnold@integritydelivers.com. We're happy to come out, train your drivers on site, have a big event, bring in your clients, showcase the fact that your company is so dedicated to patient care that you literally brought in a special trainer. Bring a barbecue out back, fire up some hot dogs or whatever. It is a great way to reassure your medical clients that your company is serious about the delivery of excellent patient care.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. That's all I've got, you guys. We look forward to hearing from you. We got a lot of great events coming up. As always, stay tuned to this podcast. This is where you need to be to find all the exciting events that are coming up at Integrity Medical and the Medical Courier Connection.
And don't forget, if you're listening on audio, you can hear our podcast on Apple Podcasts, the Podbean app, Spotify, Amazon Music and Audible, iHeartRadio, Player FM, and Podchaser. And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, like this video, share it around. We have an entire playlist of every podcast episode you can check out. We've been doing how-to videos with Justin, our CSR, so plenty of content for you guys. And we will see you next time.
Hey everybody, Ken with Integrity Medical Courier Training here.
And this is what's happening, right? So with such a serious subject, but he's able to inject humor. So it's in our best interest to invest not only in safety, but give some of those dividends back to the drivers.
I'm like, how do you start this medical courier stuff? And nobody had a mentorship. Nobody told me what industry events to go through.
So I was thinking, like, I need a name for my first conference. And it just dawned on me, use the name that they keep calling me. And I was like, yeah, the Boss Maker Conference.
You're learning so many important things, and I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, that sounds a bit expensive. I think I'll just train them myself. After all, this isn't rocket science.
And we have liftoff of